There is something within you that is stronger than the mind because the mind can support you or control you, but true freedom begins when you live fully in the present moment, enjoying what you already have without being trapped by the past or anxious about the future. Because you are always present even when you do not realize it, and thoughts are only a layer that hide this truth. The world teaches us to chase success, possessions, and achievements, yet fulfillment is not created by adding more but by uncovering what already exists within you. Discipline and structure do not take away freedom, they give it, because real freedom is not obeying every thought but having the strength to choose presence over impulse. When you are present while eating, sleeping, working, and living, your energy restores, your mind becomes clear, and life aligns. Challenges and suffering are not enemies, they are opportunities for growth and transformation, and fear only keeps you locked inside the comfort zone. You were not born incomplete, and your happiness should not depend on conditions you cannot control. Enjoy life without attachment, face difficulties with courage, let go without fear, stay aware, stay present, and remember your life is already whole. There is something powerful within you that exists beyond the mind, because the mind can guide you or mislead you, but your true strength appears when you stop chasing the past and stop worrying about the future and learn to stay completely present with what you already have, since fulfillment is not found in achieving more, but in realizing that you are already complete. And when you live with awareness, discipline becomes freedom, structure becomes peace, and every action becomes aligned. Challenges no longer break you, they shape you. Suffering no longer controls you, it teaches you. Fear loses its power when you face it and let go. You were not created lacking anything, and when you stop attaching your happiness to possessions, outcomes, or external approval, you reclaim your inner stability. Stay present, stay conscious, and live fully, because your power has always been within you. There is a quiet power inside you that grows when you stop running and start noticing this moment where life is already happening and nothing else is required to be complete. Your mind creates noise, but your presence creates clarity, and when you return to now, you return to strength that was never lost. Stop chasing what is missing and begin honoring what is here, because peace lives in awareness, not in achievement. You are not late and you are not early, you are exactly where growth can begin when you stay present. Freedom is not impulse, it is choice, and choice is born in awareness. When you slow your thoughts, your life speeds up in meaning and depth. You do not need more answers, you need more presence. The present moment is not small, it contains everything you need to move forward. Discipline is not punishment, it is alignment with your deeper self. The mind seeks control, but the heart seeks truth, and presence unites both. What you resist persists, but what you observe transforms. Stillness is not emptiness, it is power waiting to move. Your breath brings you home every time you return to it. Life becomes lighter when you stop carrying yesterday. You cannot live tomorrow today, but you can live today fully. Awareness turns ordinary moments into meaningful experiences. You are not broken, you are distracted from your wholeness. Silence teaches what noise cannot explain. The body knows how to heal when the mind learns to rest. Presence is the bridge between effort and peace. You are strongest when you stop fighting yourself. Clarity arrives when you stop forcing outcomes. Nothing is missing when you stop comparing. Your energy follows your attention, choose wisely. Growth begins where comfort ends gently. Peace is practiced, not found. You become calm when you stop chasing certainty. The present moment is the only place life responds. Simplicity reveals truth faster than complexity. You do not need approval to be aligned. Awareness dissolves fear before it becomes action. You are allowed to pause without falling behind. Strength grows through consistency, not intensity. Your life changes when your attention changes. Presence transforms pressure into purpose. You are more than your thoughts when you watch them pass. Patience is confidence in motion. The mind settles when the heart leads. Your path becomes clear when you stop rushing. Alignment feels quiet but powerful. You arrive when you stop seeking arrival. Balance is listening before reacting. Inner order creates outer freedom. Calm is a skill you can practice. The now moment never rejects you. Clarity grows with honest attention. The greatest progress begins with still awareness. There is a deep strength within you that becomes visible when you stop escaping the present moment and allow yourself to be fully here, because life only happens now, and when your attention is rooted in now, your mind becomes calm, your body becomes balanced, and your actions become clear. You do not need to chase happiness or wait for success to feel complete, because wholeness is already part of you. Discipline helps you stay aligned, fear loses Control, when you observe it, challenges turn into lessons, and suffering no longer defines you. When you face it with awareness, your energy returns. When you stop carrying the past and stop worrying about the future, stay present, stay conscious, and live with clarity, because this moment is enough and you are already whole. There is a silent power inside you that awakens when you stop running from the present and begin living fully in this moment, because life does not exist in the past or the future. It exists now, and when you stay aware, your mind becomes clear, your energy returns, and your actions align. You do not need more possessions or achievements to feel complete, because wholeness already lives within you. Discipline creates freedom, fear fades when you face it, and challenges become the doorway to growth. Stay present, trust yourself, and remember, this moment is enough and you are already complete. There is a powerful truth inside you that reveals itself when you stop escaping the present moment and begin living fully in what is happening now, because life only exists here. And when your attention stays here, your mind becomes calm, your energy returns, and your actions gain clarity. You do not need more success, money, or approval to feel complete, because you were never incomplete. Discipline brings freedom, awareness removes fear, and challenges become lessons instead of burdens. When you let go of the past and stop chasing the future, you reconnect with your inner strength. Stay present, stay conscious, and live with intention, because this moment is enough and you are already whole. There is something within you that is far stronger than the mind, and this strength begins to reveal itself the moment you stop running away from the present and allow yourself to fully arrive here, because life does not exist in yesterday and it does not exist in tomorrow. It only exists now, and when you are fully here, you realize that the mind can either serve you or enslave you, depending on how deeply you identify with it. The mind is powerful, but it is not who you are, and when you believe every thought, you lose connection with your deeper awareness. Yet, when you observe your thoughts without being pulled by them, you reclaim your inner freedom. You may have worked hard for years chasing goals, building dreams, collecting achievements, and now that you have reached some of them, you still feel restless, because enjoyment is impossible when your attention is trapped in regret about the past or anxiety about the future. Enjoyment only becomes real when you are present enough to experience what is already in your hands right now. This moment does not ask you to be better, richer, faster, or different. It only asks you to be here, because the present is not lacking anything. It is complete by itself. The problem is not that you are absent. The problem is that you are covered by layers of thought, belief, expectation, fear, desire, and comparison, and these layers make you feel disconnected even though you have never left the present, not even for a second. The world teaches you that fulfillment comes from doing more, having more, becoming more, yet this endless chasing is based on the false idea that you are incomplete and must be fixed. But the truth is, nothing needs to be added to you, something only needs to be removed, and that is unconscious identification with the mind. Freedom does not mean doing whatever the mind demands. Freedom means having the strength to pause, to wait, to choose, and to act with clarity. Structure and discipline are not the enemies of freedom, they are the doorway to it, because discipline trains you to act from awareness rather than impulse. When you wake up at a certain time, eat with intention, move with purpose, and rest with presence, you begin to see that true freedom is not chaos but alignment. When you sleep, you sleep. When you eat, you eat. When you work, you work. And when you live fully, instead of doing one thing while thinking about 10 others. This lack of alignment drains energy and creates exhaustion even when the body rests, but when your actions and attention move together, your energy restores naturally. Challenges are not placed in your life to punish you, they are placed to grow you. Discomfort is not a signal to escape, it is a signal that growth is happening. Suffering becomes destructive only when you resist it or carry it longer than necessary. Facing difficulty with awareness transforms pain into wisdom. Fear. You begin to live freely. Presence is not passive, it is powerful. It allows you to respond instead of react, to observe instead of judge, to act instead of escape. When you become aware of your thoughts, you realize that most of them are unnecessary and do not deserve your energy. You are not required to follow every thought just because it appears. Awareness gives you choice, and choice gives you mastery over your life. This mastery is not about control over others, it is about harmony within yourself. When what you think, what you feel, what you say, and what you do move in one direction, life becomes simple and clarity replaces confusion. There will always be pain in life because loss, change, and uncertainty are part of existence, but suffering is optional and created by resistance to what is. When you stay present, you meet reality as it is, and from that place you act wisely, not emotionally. Courage and the ability to let go are the two wings of growth. Courage allows you to face fear and truth, and let go releases what no longer serves you. Growth does not happen by avoiding darkness, it happens by moving through it and discovering that you are stronger than you believe. The mind will always try to protect itself by clinging to certainty, but life does not offer certainty, it offers experience and learning. When you stop demanding guarantees, you start living fully. Your energy improves when your lifestyle supports your body and mind. Nutritious food, conscious breathing, movement, rest, and rhythm all work together to support awareness. Neglecting them drains your essence and shortens vitality, but honoring them strengthens your ability to live with clarity. Challenges then become manageable and even meaningful gratitude changes your perspective when you realize how many people experiences and moments have shaped who you are. Teachers, parents, friends, hardships, and even losses all played a role, and acknowledging this fills the heart with humility and strength. Gratitude toward life itself is the deep and start shaping your inner world, because that is where your true influence lies. Fulfillment does not come from constant activity nor from total withdrawal. It comes from balance, from knowing when to act and when to rest, from doing and non-doing. Coexisting presence allows you to feel when to move and when to be still. The purpose of life is not to escape suffering but to transform it, and to live fully despite uncertainty. Fear is not removed by avoidance, it is dissolved by understanding. When you see fear clearly, it loses power. Comfort is familiar, but growth is meaningful, and stepping beyond comfort expands your perception of what is possible. Self-mastery is not perfection, it is awareness in action, learning to respond consciously even when emotions arise. Awareness makes you sensitive to inner changes, physical, emotional, mental, and this sensitivity allows adjustment before imbalance becomes crisis. Knowledge alone does not change life, action does, but action without awareness creates repetition. Awareness combined with action creates transformation. Life is a gift, and living it in constant anger, jealousy, fear, or dissatisfaction does not honor that gift. Facing challenges, developing courage, and letting go of illusion reveal the depth and richness of existence. You do not need to become someone else, you need to remember who you are. Beneath conditioning, when you stop outsourcing your happiness to possessions, approval, or circumstances, you reclaim your power. You may have success, wealth, or comfort, and there is nothing wrong with that, but do not tie your worth to them. Enjoy them fully and release them easily. Presence allows enjoyment without attachment. When you drive, you drive. When you eat. When you love fully. And when the moment passes, you let it pass. Fear and uncertainty are universal and cannot be avoided, but they do not have to control your life. The unknown is not your enemy, it is the space where growth, discovery, and meaning arise. Leaving the comfort zone, gradual yourself and others' awareness refines lifestyle choices and deepens respect for life. When you stop basing satisfaction on conditions you cannot control, you gain inner freedom. Even when the outer world is unstable, your responsibility is not to control the world, but to remain whole within it. Existence itself is the greatest gift, and no one can take that away from you unless you allow them to. When you live from presence, you do not postpone peace to the future, you experience it now. Life becomes meaningful not because it is perfect, but because you are awake to it. This is the path of awareness, discipline, courage, and compassion, and it leads not away from life but directly into it, where every moment becomes an opportunity to live fully, consciously, and freely. There is a deep and silent strength within you that is far greater than the mind, and this strength begins to awaken the moment you stop escaping the present and allow yourself to fully arrive here, because life is never happening in yesterday, and it is never happening in tomorrow. It is only happening now, and when your attention rests here, the mind slowly loses its control over you. The mind can be useful, it can plan, analyze, and remember, but it can also trap you in fear, regret, comparison, and endless desire. And when you believe every thought, you disconnect from your inner stability. Yet when you observe thoughts without following them, you rediscover freedom. You may have spent years working hard, chasing goals, building dreams, and achieving what you once wanted, and still feel restless because enjoyment is impossible when your awareness is always elsewhere. True enjoyment requires presence, and presence means being fully here with what you already have, without wishing the past were different, and without demanding the future arrive sooner. The present moment does not ask you to be more successful, more powerful, or more perfect. It simply asks why. You to be aware, because awareness itself brings peace. The feeling of emptiness that many people carry is not proof that something is missing, it is proof that attention is misplaced. The world teaches you that fulfillment comes from doing more, owning more, proving more, but this endless striving is rooted in the belief that you are incomplete and must earn your worth. Yet you were never incomplete, something only covered your wholeness, and that something is unconscious identification with thoughts and expectations. Freedom is not doing whatever the mind demands. Freedom is the ability to pause, wait, and choose with clarity. Structure and discipline are often misunderstood as limitations, but in truth they are tools that train awareness and strengthen freedom. When your day has rhythm, when your body moves with intention, and when rest is respected, your energy stabilizes and clarity grows. Real freedom is not chaos, it is alignment. When you sleep, you sleep. When you eat, you eat. When you work, you work. And when you live fully. Instead of scattering attention across regrets, worries, and distractions, the scattering drains energy and creates exhaustion even when the body rests. But when attention and action move together, vitality returns. Challenges are not mistakes, they are invitations. Discomfort is not punishment, it is a signal that growth is taking place. Suffering becomes destructive only when you resist it, deny it, or carry it longer than necessary. Facing difficulty with awareness transforms pain into understanding. Fear keeps you locked inside what is familiar, and the comfort zone feels safe only because it is known, not because it is fulfilling. Life is vast, unpredictable, and alive, and growth requires courage to step into uncertainty gradually. You were not born lacking anything. You arrived whole before the world taught you to doubt yourself. Happiness was never meant to depend on conditions that constantly change, because circumstances, relationships, bodies, and roles are temporary. WSU to respond instead of react, to observe instead of judge, and to act instead of escape. Awareness gives you space between impulse and action, and in that space you find choice, and choice is the foundation of self-mastery. Most thoughts that pass through the mind are unnecessary and do not deserve your energy. Awareness helps you see this clearly. You are not required to follow every thought just because it appears. Mastery is not about controlling the world, it is about creating harmony within yourself. When what you think, what you feel, what you say, and what you do move in one direction, life becomes simpler and confusion fades. There will always be pain in life because loss, uncertainty, and change are part of existence, but suffering is optional and created by resistance to what is. When you stay present, you meet reality honestly and act wisely. Courage and the ability to let go are essential for growth. Courage allows you to face fear and truth, and letting go releases what no longer serves you. Growth does not happen by avoiding darkness, it happens by moving through it and discovering your strength. The mind seeks certainty, but life offers none. It offers experience, learning, and transformation. When you stop demanding guarantees, you start living fully. Energy improves when lifestyle supports body and mind. Nourishing food, conscious breathing, movement, rest, and rhythm work together to protect vitality. Neglect drains your essence, but care restores it. Gratitude reshapes perception. When you recognize how many people, moments, challenges, and lessons shaped who you are, parents, teachers, friends, struggles, and losses all played a role, and acknowledging this builds humility and inner strength. Gratitude toward life itself dissolves entitlement and replaces it with appreciation. Truth liberates rather than imprisons, and moments of truth appear quietly. When you are attentive, the more you listen, the more they arise. Eventually the search ends, because you realize nothing was missing. You were simply